Welcome to another episode of AgWarriors. This is going to be a really special episode because we're going to start doing something a little bit different. This is Andy Castillo. Andy has been on the podcast before, and we started talking about let's co-host this.
Yeah, we did. So I'm a journalist. I write about agricultural technology for Farm Progress. I go to a lot of trade shows. I'm fairly plugged in on the inner workings of everything from drones to autonomous vehicles.
To a hand that picks vegetables, it's an AI hand.
Over in Building 21, there is, if you can just imagine for a minute, think of a human torso with two arms coming out of it, completely robotic. It's this brand called AI Land, and they use it to pick vegetables like carrots and others.
So you replace the human with an AI with an upper body and two hands.
Humanoid robots are coming into agriculture. That's going to be 50 years in the future. The farmers will be replaced.
Man, who knows? So we decided we're going to try try co-hosting a couple.
Yeah.
So as we're picking guests to do this, what are you thinking is going to be something that's going to be fun? What do you like about the podcast? Where do you think this is going to go?
What really draws me to the podcast, and frankly to you, is your ability to drill in and find the human stories. And I think that's what's really fascinating because, beneath all of the iron, beneath the farmer culture, Humans are what it is, and we're all human, and that's what connects us. And I think that's what I'm really fascinated about, is learning stories, understanding, what makes people tick, why they are so passionate about what they do in farming, in and around agriculture. So I think that's what I'm personally. I love writing about that, and from a podcast, it's another medium to try to understand people.
No, that's cool. For me, what I'm looking forward is, so I sat in on the first time I've ever seen you interview somebody.
Yeah.
And so Dimitri, who was on the podcast earlier, I was like, you got to meet this guy.
Oh my God, that was a great conversation. Dimitri is an inspiring person in so many levels.
But the questions you were asking were different than what I asked, but it told a different side of the story, which I thought was really, really cool. That you were able to bring out a different side of really the story that I was telling the other day.
Well, I as an ag journalist, I try to focus on the big business side of a lot of things with my reporting, because that's really what impacts the bottom line, is business. But I think through that lens, you can really get into some deeper stories, and that's what I try to do.
You were, of course, and obviously as a journalist, that's what you want to do, but you got into the human side because we never even touched the other day about tractors being blown up in the Ukraine or farmers being blown up in the Ukraine and how that affects. And it was just like...
What I found was really fascinating about this, and Dimitri is the owner of a Ukrainian agricultural technology business that produces trailers, and his father passed away in 21, and then a year later the Ukrainian war broke out. So he's been piloting this massive, international ship through some really tenuous waters. But what I found was really interesting about that was the way that his company is supporting people. Like he was talking about, when his employees go off to war, the way that he supports
160 of them mobilized, he called it.
Incredible. I can't even wrap my head around that, and and that's just a normal part of his life, right? Like he was just talking about that like it was just another Tuesday, another Thursday. It's crazy.
10 of them have passed away.
Yeah.
But I think what you're referring to is the fact that they're supporting those families of employees that are no longer with them,
right,
with buses for funerals and money and
and transportation to and from, and then also what he was saying about how he intentionally keeps the prices low, so that farmers can afford it. It just seems to me that there's a real tight community around agriculture in Ukraine, especially. And I mean, I can understand why.
Well, and you touched on it a little bit there. The people are what we talked about this a little bit. People are what matters.
Yes.
And Dmitry said the same thing.
Yeah.
It was about the people, right? Like he said, the first thing, if Russia gets close to where they are, the number one priority is the people. He's like, we will build them little homes and it won't be great, but they'll have heat and a roof.
Yeah.
We have to take care of our people first, then our equipment.
Yeah.
He says you can't replace the people.
You know, that's a lesson we can all take back in Western nations, especially. I was telling you a little while ago that I just got back from International Federation of Agricultural Journalists conference in Kenya, and how it was such an eye-opening experience for me. But going back to that concept of people first, I think in Western countries it's easy to, and necessary, to really focus on the business part of things. Like, how can you increase your bottom line? But when I was in Africa, being confronted by so much poverty in the way that agriculture connects to that. So 80% of the farmers there are subsistence farmers, and they're not using massive combines to make millions of dollars. They're herding goats so that they can feed their families.
Well, that was, and one of the things you said is like, agriculture in Kenya is helping move people out of poverty.
Absolutely.
And you also said something I thought was fascinating, is that 80% of the farm workers in Kenya are women.
Yeah, the vast majority of farm workers are women because there's such inequality. So by supporting agriculture, you can do so many different things, and that was not a lens that I had ever considered it through. Like, you can promote equality, you can impact climate change, and you can move people into an agribusiness which supports their community. It gives people jobs. It's such a ripple effect.
Yeah, I mean, that's mind blowing. And you think about it a little bit over here, or not? I shouldn't say over here because we're in Germany, but like, women are just starting to get more involved in agriculture. We're starting to see a lot more of that. But then you're in Africa, 80% of the farm work, I mean...
Crazy. But to tie it back to Agritechnica, where we are today, one really interesting thing that I found there was the way that technology is supporting farmers. And I learned about this artificial intelligence app that connects to WhatsApp, because everybody has WhatsApp in countries outside of the U.S.
Right, we don't use WhatsApp very well in North America, but everybody else uses it very well.
So it's this AI agronomist that embeds into your WhatsApp app, and it connects to data like weather, soil type, things like that. Yep. And a farmer can walk their land and drop markers, and then this artificial intelligence app, using the soil profiles and other data that it pulls in, can tell you, exactly what sort of fertilizers you need to do, what kind of crops you need to be growing, and if you input your previous year's yield, it'll give you an exact formula to increase your production.
Where did you see that? I want to go check that out.
This was in Kenya.
Oh, this was in Kenya.
This was a researcher, I think some sort of a digital researcher that was developing this app.
Wow.
But I mean, it was inspiring that, as somebody that covers agricultural technology, and we think about, how can you increase productivity on your land through concaves or
whatever,
artificial intelligence, whatever it is, but to contextualize that in a different framework, like that AI is actually like saving lives in a way. Like, that's not something you think about.
No, and that's certainly something that a lot of people are scared of AI. And I think the more that, obviously we want to be careful with AI. I think you have to be, but the more that people harness the power of AI, I think, honestly, the better. Like you talk about saving lives or being able to feed the world and increase. Yeah. There are so many different things, and there's some jobs that are just really dangerous. And if you can use AI to get around some of that. Now, we are at Agritechnica, and we should be talking about this place?
It's incredible. I have several takeaways.
Okay,
One?
give me the top 3 takeaways from Agritechnica.
Italian coffee is the best.
We're in Germany.
Yeah, I know. But I went to this irrigation booth, and it was a brand, the Italian brand. And I walk up to the booth, I shake his hand, and he's like, "We're an Italian brand, first coffee." He takes me over to the table, sits me down, and makes me this tiny little cup. Best coffee I've had in Germany.
So number 1 is find the irrigation booth with the Italian coffee. What's number 2?
Number 2 is that I've been trying to push the pull doors and pull the push doors.
Zian and Drushin and Zian. My first Agritechnica, I did the same thing, and I still sometimes, it's the opposite of what we normally do.
It is.
Whatever it is, it's the opposite.
Absolutely. And that makes a lot more sense because, like, if you're trying to run through a door, you should push it if you want to exit. But that's another thing. My third takeaway is the amount of technology here in Europe is a little bit mind-boggling. It's really crazy. Coming from a mostly Midwestern row crop experience, I mean, there are like a dozen self-driving vehicles here, New Holland's and CNH's in general, new R4 robot. I don't know if you went over and saw that.
I haven't yet.
Okay.
Is it ridiculous?
Well, coming from a
Hey, Rob, hold on a sec. Jump in here. We said we were going to do this at some point. Rob, welcome to AgWarriors. You don't even know this is happening. This is Rob O'Connor, Canadian show manager, Ag Emotion. This is Andy Castillo. He's a guest host. That we're going to start doing this. Farm Progress. So you guys all know each other, I'm sure. Well, you don't. Yeah, he's a journalist.
okay.
So I cover technology mostly, farm technology, things like that. But we were talking about CNH. They have this Zamboni-like automated machine.
He's a Bruins fan, so right away brings
Okay.
it to hockey. Yeah.
Good.
And while we're on the topic of Canada, I just want to wish you both my deepest.
No, I'm an American.
But you're
No, I'm not a Canadian. I'm cheering for USA. Like,
But you can't.
are you talking for the? I did cheer for the Dodgers. You know why?
I'll move over here because I cheer for the Jays. So
Oh, I thought you were already offering condolences to the Canadians for the Olympics.
Blue Jays. I mean that was a.
As if you could cheer for the Blue Jays. You live in Boston. They're in the American League East. What are you talking about?
The Dodgers. I'm sorry. LA, the Lakers.
We have totally sidetracked. I just wanted to.
I'm going to say, I'm going to throw in here.
Okay.
I love Blue Jays baseball. That is how baseball needs to be played. Don't just rely on home runs and strikeouts. I love defensive play.
Maybe you should learn how to base run, because base running was absolutely horrendous. That's what cost them the series.
Well, I think injuries cost them the series.
There's also those freak plays, like the ball getting stuck between the wall.
You
That
can't
was
have a
odd.
7-foot lead off of third base when you're the winning run. What are you doing? You don't want to get doubled off? You're not getting doubled off there. Instead, you don't score. Series would have been over. 7 feet. That's like from here to there.
But if you remember the game before, they did get doubled off second. And I bet you now.
Yeah, but it was off third base. Yeah,
That's true.
I know.
You know what? If I was to really criticize what happened near the end of that game, I would have put a suicide squeeze on.
That's what I said right away.
In the 11th.
You have to squeeze it.
Because you knew a double play with that guy was potential. He
You
was
have to
the
squeeze
guy
there.
baseball.
Yeah.
That was my only thought. Was Vladdy, he's faster than people think, and he would have got from third to home on a suicide squeeze. And the third baseman was playing super deep.
I agree. I thought the same thing, but again,
Okay.
we weren't
All
here.
right. We're not supposed to talk baseball, are we?
Well, we're in Germany at Agritechnica.
right. That's
What do you
right.
think of this place?
Well, this is a fantastic show. This is the 7th time I've been here. And
I'm going to move over so you can be closer to the mic just in case they don't pick you up.
yeah, and I think the management of this show's done a great job.
Yeah.
I mean, they market it globally. Their international program's phenomenal for promoting the show. Not just to the exhibitors, but also to the farmer attendees. Their whole plan to bring farmers here from around the world, not just Europe, is phenomenal. And they do spend quite a large budget to help get their messaging.
I think what I'm so impressed by is just the amount of equipment that's here. And I think this is me just speculating, and maybe you can correct me if I'm wrong, but it seems like there's just so many more small farms in Europe that it brings in a lot more farmers in general, whereas in North America we have those broad acres, you have consolidation, you have farmers that maybe aren't as numerous. They're using a lot of machinery, but there's not as many brands that are marketing. So that's something that really struck me about this.
I think the financial model for farming in Europe, Western Europe, is very different than North America, right? So it lends itself to continuing the family or smaller farm.
Yeah.
You know, like in Germany, for instance, how many farms are over 5,000 acre? You can probably count them on your hand.
Probably. Yeah.
Where in Saskatchewan, the average farm now in Saskatchewan is 10,000 acres.
Wow.
So it's very different, but they do such a great job, again, of getting those smaller farms from Europe or from Germany and France, but also going to Kazakhstan and Ukraine. You know, Ukraine and Russia's got some issues, obviously, but they still find those large broadacre farms to come here as well. And I think that's why the Saskatchewan Trade and Export Partnership Canadian Pavilion does so well.
Yeah.
Because not the German farmers, but it's the farmers from other countries that come here and utilize this equipment.
I think the other big thing that you see here that you don't see elsewhere, like definitely you hit it on the head about the size of the farms, but in the Midwest, it's row crops. It's corn and beans.
Yeah.
We grow corn and beans. I talked to a guy earlier today that's growing 9 different crops, right? Like that, and that's certainly something that's more prevalent in Canada where guys will grow 4 or 5. But here, there's so much, even though they're small farms, there's so many different things being grown. And that's why you have so many different types of equipment here, technology here.
I was about to say that, because if you go to the coasts in North America, you'll find those specialty crops. But here, it's just all commogulation. It's thrown together. It's a mix.
Yeah, and their different environments are reflected in the show too. Like you have the forage hall, where there's actually machines that blow air through the bales so they can dry it out, because they'll never get dry enough in the field to bale them. So they bale them with high moisture and just force air through that bale to dry it.
I think what's also really interesting is the solutions to all of the many problems that people overcome, like tech brands overcome. And it's not just, the environmental issues, but it's also regulatory issues that I think Europe has perhaps more than North America.
It's interesting you bring that up, because yesterday I met what they have a committee here that's called the Ag Leaders Club. So they recruit people from all over the world to talk about new technology, but also the policies. And I spoke yesterday with a representative from the Illinois Farm Bureau that they've invited to come here and meet and talk about glyphosate as one of the topics. Because glyphosate is hit harder in Europe than it is in North America. But anything that happens here is likely going to have some impact on what we're doing there.
But the inverse is also correct, because I cover a lot about irrigation, and I've talked with a number of different irrigation grants here about conditions in Europe. And one of the things they said was that because farms are so much more fractured, they use a lot of hose reels, or we use center pivots in North America. But the overwhelming sentiment was that North America is much further ahead.
Which it's not. That's the crazy thing.
In regards to irrigation.
Well, for sure. But if you think overall at the technology that's here, and it's crazy. I know we're further ahead in some ways, because people are coming to this pavilion just because it says Canada. Because they think that, and it's not something against the American farmers, because in a huge portion of agriculture in the United States, it's corn and beans, right? That's what people grow. They know that Canadians are growing a lot of different things. They know Canadians have big farms. So we've had people that are coming to this pavilion just to see what's happening in Canada, which is crazy.
Well, I came to the booth to see what was happening in Canada, so I don't blame them.
Well,
especially on broad acres.
Yeah.
Like when we come to air seeding technology and tillage for dry land farming, we do lead the world. There's no doubt about that.
Absolutely. And some of our best are represented in this pavilion. I mean, you talk about Bordeaux, good Saskatchewan. I mean, got to plug the Saskatchewan company. I mean, you are from Saskatchewan, but Bourgault, they're a global leader in basically air seeders, right?
Yeah, well, and then you look at a company like Vaterstad who came and bought out Seedhawk,
right?
Because it is a global leader, and they wanted to add that to their overall portfolio.
Yeah, there's a version of the Seedhawk here, right across from us. Yeah, right over there. Oh, that's cool. Well, we appreciate you jumping in on this. We're going to grab Jeff from Step.
Nice seeing you.
Yes, you too.
So how long are you here for, Jeremy?
Oh, man. So Saturday the show ends, and then Sunday or Saturday, I don't actually know. Saturday night or Sunday, we're going to Paul's house.
Okay.
So Paul worked for me in Canada for 5 years, moved back to Germany. He's now working the show for me. He's done it the last 2, but and then me and Bobby, my oldest, so he's never been to Europe before. I think we're gonna jump on a plane and try to hit Athens and Rome. I'm letting him plan it. So if we don't go anywhere, it's his fault. But
have you been to Rome?
I've never been to Rome. I've never been to Athens. And
Can I give you a tip?
yeah, please.
Okay. Fly into Rome and then go to Florence.
Fly into Rome and then go to Florence.
Yeah. And then go through the Tuscan Valley, Tuscany.
Okay.
It'll be worth it.
It's worth it?
Oh, yeah.
So I love to travel. That I'm in. So wherever Bobby is, fly into Rome and then
Road trip.
Road trip.
Yeah.
Rent a car or take a train.
Rent a car.
Rent a car.
Oh, yeah. I mean, that Tuscany, the landscape there is incredible. Really.
So when you come to Brazil, because I'm trying to convince you to come.
I'll go to Brazil.
Rio Grande Sul
Uh-huh.
is, and you've traveled way more than me, but I felt like that was the prettiest place on earth. Like,
I believe it.
It was painted with just a different paintbrush than what I'm used to seeing the colors of.
My wife was going to fly out to Prague and meet me in Prague.
Yeah.
But she became really ill, so she had to cancel her flight. So everything is booked in Prague. So I'm gonna make my way to Prague, but it's gonna be a little more lonely, I think. And I might cut the trip a little earlier because, I mean, she's homesick. So
You might need to go check on her.
I think so. Yeah, she's pushing me to stay, but I don't know.
That's not the same, probably. If you have a trip planned with the wife. So that was our first time co-hosting.
Yeah.
What'd you think?
It's good. Yeah, it's very good. I'm looking forward to more. Do you want to do takeaways? That's maybe a good way to end.
Okay, let's do.
All right.
Yeah, we need to come up with something because normally I'm asking, weapon of choice and what 40-year-old you would tell 20-year-old you. We need to come up with something for when we co-host. Let's live brainstorming.
Okay.
I mean, whatever interview we do, whatever conversation we do, let's just do takeaways. Or maybe farmer application.
Like
Farmer application.
takeaways. Yeah.
Okay, you first.
All right.
Let me think about it. What's your takeaway?
My takeaway is that technology is coming, and it is coming fast. I mean, I have seen, as I mentioned before, there's so many autonomous machines here. Like it's a little bit mind blowing, and I mean, I've only been writing about it for a short time, and I think technology gets a lot of hype, and then it sort of dies off, and then suddenly it's here. Like drone technology is a good one. There was a lot of hype about it, and I mean, kind of died off a little bit. Now it's everywhere.
Well, and I think to drone technology, I think it's been bigger everywhere than it is in the U.S. When I went to Brazil,
you're absolutely
the
right.
freaking amount of drones and the things that they were doing with drones, I was like, we can't fly a drone at a farm show, and they're flying, like they have farmers flying drones at farm shows. I'm like,
That's wild.
liability wise, it's crazy. Okay, so technology is your number one takeaway?
Absolutely, that technology is coming really fast, and I don't know if farmers are prepared, frankly. Or maybe they are. I don't know. I guess we'll see.
I wonder if, I don't know if farmers are prepared because I don't know how much farmers like change all the time.
This is true.
So that's an interesting one. I think my takeaway from the week so far has been people.
Yeah.
And I mean, we heard it from Dimitri. I heard it. I had a 14th generation farmer
Wow.
on the podcast.
Wow.
14 generations. Just solid dude.
That's crazy.
And from Germany, I've talked to people. So far, if you would do a hit list, Croatia, Romania, Denmark, Norway, Sweden, France, Germany.
Wow.
So you've talked to a lot of people from a lot of different countries.
Yeah.
Do you find a common thread that runs through agriculture internationally?
Everybody is always looking to do something better. They might not believe that what you are offering will help them do better, and in some cases it might not, but everybody's looking to do better.
So pushing forward innovation.
But yet afraid to change.
That's a funny
So,
balance.
I mean, I think they want to do better. They just don't necessarily trust that it will do better.
Well, it's
Because
a risk. I mean, it's a lot of money you're dropping on these things that might or might not work.
the other common theme would be government overreach.
Yeah.
Every single farmer that I've talked about has talked about their government. All government seems to be broken.
Yeah.
I've talked to American farmers, Canadian farmers. I've talked to all kinds of farmers. A Dutch farmer. He told me the Netherlands was paying people to stop farming.
Wow. Why?
Because of the climate. So they're basically, if you were a livestock farmer in the Netherlands, they will, if you sign something saying you will quit livestock, and then nobody in your family for the rest of your family, as long as they exist, will farm livestock, then they'll give you a large payout to stop.
That's crazy. Could you imagine if something like that happened in North America?
It kind of is. The solar companies.
Yeah,
The
you're right.
solar companies are buying up farmland.
That is a conversation for another day, because I have an 8-part series coming out on that,
you?
on farmland value and the impact of tech development, like solar.
You're doing something on that?
I started as one story, and it has ballooned into a behemoth.
So I am very excited to hear what you've done with that. Because
Yeah.
I think that's something that's not being talked about.
Yes.
It's being talked about by some of the farmers. That's where I heard about it. But I don't think on a big scale we understand what that could potentially mean for the cost of food.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Okay, let's end it there, man. I'm looking forward. Who's our first guest? You found our first guest. Tell us.
Okay.
Tell everybody who the first guy. If you confirmed with him.
I haven't confirmed, but I know he'll be on.
Okay. All right. Who's our first guest? And
I'm
why?
anticipating our first guest is going to be a retired Red Bull paraglider.
A retired Red Bull paraglider. For those who don't know, what is a Red Bull paraglider do? And when I say for those who don't know, I think I know, but maybe tell me too.
They're those people that fly around and with like the sort of a parachute thing.
Carousel?
Yeah, it's kind of like that, but they are not tied to a tether. And then he also did wingsuit jumping for a while.
Yeah.
Wingsuits. So he's crazy.
He's a little bit crazy, but now he's flying drones in the Midwest. And
For agriculture.
yeah. So most interesting person.
Okay, this is not officially our first guest. This is not the Red Bull paraseller, but Jeff, come in here. Oh, okay, we can finish talking about our paraseller.
He's
Jeff.
coming.
Oh, he's coming. All right, so you didn't even know this was going to happen.
No, that's okay.
That's all right. You'll roll with it.
Yeah. Hey, how's it going? Hey,
I'm with Farm Progress, a journalist.
right on. Nice to meet you.
You too.
So I had Andy on my podcast a while ago, and we started talking, and we're going to co-host a podcast. So we're introducing the fact that we're going to co-host a couple episodes of AgWarriors.
Okay.
But we thought we wanted to have just some random people.
Sure.
And who better than the person who organized this whole damn booth to give us their opinions on Agritechnica, agriculture, STEP.
Sure.
Jeff Cooper.
Jeff Cooper, Vice President of Trade Development at Saskatchewan Trade Export Partnership, or STEP for short. We are, the organizers of the Canadian Pavilion here at Agritechnica, in partnership with the governments of Alberta and Manitoba, and supported by Prairies Can, the Western Canadian arm of the federal government that funds.
I'm going to move over a little bit more.
Yeah,
just
sure.
so I don't know how far this mic will pick up because you're not wearing another mic. But
What's STEP?
So STEP, Saskatchewan Trade Export Partnership, we're the trade promotion agency for the province of Saskatchewan. So funded by our provincial government to help Saskatchewan companies find international business opportunities. So not just ag in all industries, but a lot of what we end up doing is in ag, just given
Yeah.
we're in Saskatchewan. And our role is to do things like this, organize trade show displays. We recruit international visitors to come to Saskatchewan. We've got funding programs our companies can apply for to help offset travel costs. We do market research for them. At the end of the day, they have to sell their products, but if we can get them in the right rooms, introduce them to the right people, that sort of thing, that's where the connectors is.
What better place to do that than at Agritechnica?
Oh, it's, well, you're here. It's the craziest, amazing egg show in the world. Like, you have to see it to believe it.
I think it's like 27 buildings or something.
Yeah, 27 halls.
I think we figured out the square footage. So, like, Agritrade
Yeah.
is 335,000 square feet.
Yeah.
Ag Days is 500,000 square feet.
Yeah.
And Louisville is like 700,000 or 800,000 square feet. 400,000 square feet of exhibitions here. No, 4 million.
Yeah.
4 million. Sorry, 4 million.
Yeah, it's-
400,000 square meters or something like that.
The size is insane. It's, yeah.
Overwhelming, I think, is the word. I have put in a lot of.
How many have you been to?
I've only myself been to 2, but Step has been doing this in some sort of form like this since 2005. And prior to that, we came in a much smaller, all the way up to 99. I think was the very first year that Step.
You know, one thing I'm interested in as you're both working in Canada, is how is Canadian ag tech in general expanding internationally?
Well, I think, what's happening down in the U.S., bad, but also has been good to sort of motivate some of our manufacturers, our ag tech companies to, maybe broaden their horizons a little bit. That's a lot of work we do is to try and help companies diversify where they're selling their products. And sometimes it's a bit of a struggle to get them to pay attention when they're super focused on U.S. business, which is great. Like, business in the U.S. always going to be our number one trading partner. But sort of what's happened in the last, 6 to 12 months is people are getting curious about, where are the other places there might be opportunities to sell
God,
sell
you're
products.
such a good politician. You're going to have to run for office. What he's saying is the damn tariffs are forcing people to look elsewhere.
Yeah, basically, yeah.
Apologies, but
Yeah.
Oh, it's not. It's changing.
Yeah, it is. But it's lots of opportunities, though. Like, it's not the worst thing, I think, to put some eggs in different baskets.
I'll pose the same question to you. And you were just saying that you're looking to push into a presence in Europe, perhaps?
Well, yeah, and we're in the Step Pavilion. This is our second time because we wanted to be in Europe. We've expanded. We did a little bit of business here. We've expanded into Brazil. This is to Jeff's point, right? You have to think outside of what's just right here, and that's why I think. I mean, how many different pavilions are you doing around the world right now, or trade missions for agriculture?
In total, Step does about 45 a year. That's all industries. Egg specific, we would be 20. Like between machinery and then like food and commodities, and yeah, it would be about 20. So it's about half of what we do falls into that space.
One thing I have been really intrigued by is it feels like agriculture globally is shifting. Like the tectonic plates are shifting for many different reasons. Like I think some countries are suddenly discovering that they can produce a lot and that they can become major exporters. And then at the same time, you have these geopolitical drivers like the tariffs that are forcing countries to look elsewhere.
Yeah.
What sort of opportunities exist for Canadian brands here in Europe in particular?
I mean, for a lot of our egg manufacturers, in Western Europe, there's definitely opportunity. A lot of them are here for that Eastern European piece, just based on the way that they farm in Eastern Europe. It's a lot similar to how we do it in Saskatchewan. So any of our big companies making seeding intelligent equipment, their main focus is Eastern Europe. That said, there's lots of opportunity in Western Europe, and usually it's smaller stuff.
Yeah.
There's issues in the EU with CE certification, so it's more difficult. They're not saying there's no opportunities, but it's more difficult to do business here. But the great thing about Agritechnica is like you can come here and end up with an Australian distributor. Like it brings the world comes here, so it doesn't matter where you're looking to do business, you can probably find it here. So,
well, and that's one of the things Dmitry, the Ukrainian, told us. He's been trying to go to North America. He said, I went to Canada 2 different times. I came here and I start talking to all of these Canadians that
we're easy to find here. So.
Yeah, well, I mean, you look, you don't have to look very far to find us. Big red carpet.
Yeah.
Okay, if nobody paint a picture of the madness that is Agritechnica, not just during the show, evening, this whole thing that this event is for somebody who hasn't been here?
It's an absolute marathon. Like it's 7-day show, 9 to 6 every day. There's every night there's receptions. You have to be here before the show starts to be ready. Our team is here the week in advance as well for setup. So I've been here for about 2 weeks by the time I finally get to go home. So, but it's like long days, but they're over fast, if that makes sense. Like all of a sudden you're, oh geez, I'm back in the hotel again. And it's kind of crazy. It's sort of a time warp sort of thing. Yeah.
And then the after hours things you were just saying.
Oh man, he threw the hell of so the Canadian reception. The first time I came was in 17, and it was like 50 people. Last time in 2023, there might have been 100 people, but a lot of it was us.
Yeah.
It was like 250. Like there's a picture of this whole area. I mean, we don't even know who all the people were. Some of them probably.
But I am of the opinion the more the merrier. And if you come to a Canadian party and it's a good time, then that's the good vibe you want to spread, kind of thing.
Come to a Canadian party, there's probably going to be a beer,
Yeah.
and somebody's going to shake your hand and say hi.
Yeah.
Well, you're throwing a hell of a party here, man. Thanks. For jumping on
Absolutely.
this with us, and
Yeah.
appreciate it.
Thanks a lot. Yeah. Thanks, guys. Yeah.
Thanks, Jeff.
It's fun. Yeah. Cheers.
Appreciate it.
Yeah.
Shall we end it there?
Well, I think we just have to officially end it. We're now no more guests coming on here.
You've done the takeaways.
We've done the takeaways. Let's get out of here.
All right.
Thanks, man.
Happy travels.
Yeah, you too. Be safe.